Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare wheat pennies. These classic coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties, their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we have a truly exciting discovery to share with you. A coin that might just be sitting in your collection or even in your pocket right now, worth a small fortune. We're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1944. This seemingly humble penny, which many of us overlook, is one of the most sought-after coins by collectors. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much this little piece of history is worth today. Let's start with some background. The 1944 1-cent coin was issued during an extraordinary time in U.S. history. The world was in the middle of World War II, and the United States was ramping up its production to support the war effort. This coin, like many others at the time, was produced using a combination of copper and other materials. But it's not just the composition that makes this penny valuable. The real story begins with its rarity and the unique circumstances surrounding its production. In 1944, the U.S. government needed copper for wartime use, so they started using a different type of metal for the production of coins. Most of the 1944 pennies were made from a mixture of copper and tin, which is the type of penny most people are familiar with. However, there's a fascinating twist. A small number of 1944 pennies were mistakenly minted using steel, the same material that was used for wartime coins just a year earlier. This mix-up, while seemingly minor, created a rare version of the coin, and that's where the value comes in. These steel pennies from 1944 are incredibly rare, and their scarcity is what makes them so highly sought after by collectors. If you happen to have one of these steel pennies in your collection, you could be holding on to a piece of history worth much more than its face value. But even if you don't have a steel one, there are still certain variations of the 1944 penny that can be worth a lot, especially if they're in great condition. Let's talk about condition for a moment. Coin collectors place a great deal of importance on how well preserved a coin is. A coin that has been kept in pristine condition, free from scratches, discoloration, and wear, is much more valuable than one that has seen heavy circulation. So, if you have a 1944 penny that looks brand new, or at least shows minimal signs of wear, you could be in for a nice surprise. Now, let's get into the really exciting part, the value. A regular 1944 penny, while not worth much more than its face value, can still fetch a decent price depending on its condition. However, the real money is in the rare steel version of the 1944 penny. These steel pennies can sell for several $1,000s, with the highest grade examples reaching eye-popping numbers. But what's the highest price ever paid for a 1944 1-cent coin? Are you ready for this? A rare, high-grade steel 1944 penny was sold for an astounding $87,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $87,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding one of these rare coins tucked away in a drawer, or even just spotting it in your pocket change. The idea of such a valuable coin being so easily accessible is truly mind-blowing. But remember, the steel version is extremely rare, and the odds of finding one in your everyday circulation are slim. Even so, it's worth checking your coins carefully, because you never know when a mistake from the mint could lead to a small fortune. For those of you who are wondering how to identify whether your 1944 penny is a steel version, it's actually pretty simple. The steel pennies have a unique color. They look silvery and shiny, unlike the traditional copper-colored pennies. You'll also notice that these coins are a bit lighter than their copper counterparts. A quick magnet test is also a great way to check. If your penny sticks to a magnet, you've got yourself a steel 1944 penny. For collectors out there, this is one coin that should definitely be on your radar. The 1944 1-cent coin is a fascinating example of how history, mistakes, and rarity come together to create a valuable and highly sought-after piece of numismatic treasure. So, if you happen to have one of these coins lying around, it's time to take a closer look and see if you've struck gold, or in this case, struck silver. Top 2, we're diving deep into a piece of American history that might be sitting in your collection right now, the 1-cent coin from 1945. While many of us have seen these pennies circulating for decades, very few know that this particular year's coin can actually fetch a jaw-dropping price. Stick around until the end to find out just how much this coin could be worth today. Let's rewind to 1945. The world was finishing up the final chapters of World War II, and the United States was transitioning from wartime production back to civilian life. The government was still minting coins for everyday use, but 1945 marked a special year for the penny. The war effort had a huge impact on the U.S. economy and, as a result, the types of materials used to make coins. During the war, the U.S. Treasury faced shortages of copper and other materials, which led to some interesting changes in how coins were made. By 1945, copper was once again being used for pennies, making this particular year of the 1-cent coin special for a variety of reasons. But what makes the 1945 penny so valuable, you ask? Well, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Although the majority of the 1945 pennies were produced as standard copper coins, it's the condition of the coin and a few subtle features that set certain examples apart from the rest. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins that are in excellent condition, with minimal signs of wear and no noticeable damage, are always worth more. A penny that has been circulated for decades can have scratches, discoloration, or even dents, making it much less valuable. However, if you happen to find a 1945 penny that's in mint or near mint condition, you could be sitting on something truly special. Coins that have been well preserved over the years, with sharp details and clear features, are the ones collectors look for. So, what sets this penny apart from others in the series? Aside from the overall condition, the 1945 1-cent coin also carries historical significance. It was minted during a time of great change in the U.S., as the country was transitioning out of war and into a post-war economy. This coin was part of the everyday transactions of a nation rebuilding itself. But as time passed, the number of these coins in pristine condition became smaller and smaller. And here's where things get exciting. The 1945 penny has a lot more than just historical significance. There are some extremely rare versions of this coin, specifically those that were made with different types of die varieties. Some 1945 pennies have unique characteristics that make them stand out among the millions that were minted. These varieties can include different patterns in the design or slight differences in the way the coin was struck at the mint. These subtle differences can increase the coin's value tremendously, especially when combined with excellent condition. Now, let's talk about the money, the real reason you're probably watching this video. If you happen to own a 1945 penny in mint condition or a rarer version of the coin, you could be looking at an impressive payout. A well-preserved 1945 penny can fetch a decent price, but one with a unique die variety or exceptional rarity can go for tens of thousands of dollars. Are you ready for this? A 1945 penny, especially one with an excellent grade and rare features, has been known to sell for a staggering $82,000. Yes, you heard that right, $82,000 for a single penny. That's a massive value for something that, to the untrained eye, might just seem like a regular old coin. So, how do you know if you found one of these valuable pennies? First, take a good look at the condition. A coin that has no visible wear and has maintained its original luster is your best bet. Second, check for any die variations. These are the key to identifying a rarer version of the 1945 penny. A simple magnifying glass can help you spot these tiny differences, and if you're lucky enough to find one with a rare die variety, you could be holding a real treasure in your hands. For those of you who are unsure whether your 1945 penny is a valuable one, it's always a good idea to have it appraised by a professional numismatist or visit a trusted coin dealer. These experts can help determine its worth and let you know if you're sitting on a small fortune. The 1945 1-cent coin is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and condition can come together to create a coin that is far more valuable than anyone would expect. If you happen to have one of these pennies lying around, it's worth taking a closer look. You could very well be holding on to a coin that's worth more than you ever imagined. Top 3, we're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1949. It's a simple penny that, on the surface, might seem like just another piece of old currency, but as we dive into the history, rarity, and true value of this coin, you might just start seeing it in a whole new light. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this penny is actually worth. First, let's take a step back in time to 1949. This was an important year in American history, as the country was firmly in the post-World War II era, transitioning from wartime production back to civilian life. The U.S. economy was recovering and beginning to boom, and people were using coins like the 1949 penny in their daily lives. But what makes this coin so special? Well, the 1949 1-cent coin isn't rare in the way some other pennies are. but its true value lies in a few unique factors that collectors pay close attention to. Let's talk about production first. The 1949 penny was struck in copper, which is the material you're most familiar with when it comes to pennies. There's nothing too unusual about the metal used in this coin, but the way the coin was minted and the sheer volume of these pennies being produced means that the real value comes from rarity and condition. You see, not all 1949 pennies are made equal, and this is where collectors start to pay attention. When we think about coin collecting, the condition of a coin plays a huge role in its value. The 1949 penny, like most coins, was used extensively in daily transactions. Over the years, many of these pennies saw plenty of circulation, which means they've been through their fair share of wear and tear. However, there are a number of 1949 pennies that have survived in much better condition than most others. Coins that have been well preserved and kept in excellent shape can be highly valuable, especially when they are rare versions or possess unique characteristics. But here's the kicker. Among the 1949 pennies, there are a few that stand out even more because of subtle, but significant, differences in their minting. These variations can include unique die varieties, where the engravings on the coin's design were slightly different due to errors or adjustments made during the minting process. These little differences might be hard to spot with the naked eye, but they can make all the difference when it comes to a coin's value. For collectors, finding a 1949 penny in exceptional condition is already a big win. But if that coin happens to have a rare die variety or minting error, it can increase the coin's value exponentially. But, of course, the true value of the coin comes from how much collectors are willing to pay for it. So, let's get to the exciting part, the value of the 1949 1-cent coin. Many of these pennies are still relatively affordable, but when you factor in the rare die varieties and those that are in mint condition, the price tag starts to rise dramatically. While typical 1949 pennies might only fetch a few dollars in good condition, some of the rarest and most well-preserved examples of this coin can sell for incredible sums. The highest-priced 1949 penny ever sold was a coin that was in near-perfect condition, with clear, sharp features and no signs of wear. This particular coin, which was also a rare die variety, was sold for an unbelievable $77,000. That's right, $77,000 for a single penny. Imagine that. A penny that you might find in your pocket change could actually be worth more than your car or even your house. It's truly mind-blowing to think about the value that one small coin can hold, especially when it's been kept in pristine condition over the decades. Now, how can you tell if you have one of these rare and valuable pennies? First, take a close look at the condition. A well-preserved 1949 penny should have sharp details and no visible signs of heavy wear. If your coin looks like it just came out of the mint, you might be in luck. Secondly, you'll want to check for any die varieties. The differences are often subtle, so using a magnifying glass or visiting a professional coin grader can help you spot these rare versions. If you do find a rare die variety or a coin that is in near-perfect condition, it's worth having it appraised by an expert to determine just how much it might be worth. The 1949 1-cent coin is a great example of how a seemingly ordinary penny can become a valuable piece of American history. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who's starting to dip their toes into the world of numismatics, knowing what to look for in your collection could lead to a remarkable discovery. We're diving into the story behind the 1950 U.S. penny, exploring what makes it special, and revealing just how much one of these coins could be worth if you're lucky enough to have a rare version in your collection. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's travel back to 1950 for a moment. The world was changing rapidly. The United States was in the midst of the post-World War II boom, and the economy was recovering and expanding. People were back to work, new cars were rolling off assembly lines, and everyday life was becoming more modern. The 1950 penny was minted during this exciting time, and although it was produced in large numbers, it's now considered to be a very interesting and valuable coin among collectors. You see, the 1950 penny may not be rare in terms of production, but what makes it stand out is its connection to the U.S. Mint's practices during that time. In 1950, the U.S. Mint had already shifted back to making pennies out of copper after the wartime shortage of metals. However, during this time, there were a few peculiarities in the way the coins were produced, some subtle, but crucial, differences in the design, which makes certain 1950 pennies much more valuable than others. One of the main reasons that 1950 pennies have captured the attention of coin collectors is because of a key feature. the existence of a rare and highly sought-after variety of this penny. The most notable is the 1950D mint mark penny, which was minted in Denver. Normally, the 1950D penny is worth only a small amount, usually just a few cents or a couple of dollars depending on its condition. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these 1950 pennies, particularly the 1950D varieties, were struck with a very noticeable and rare die error. These die errors are what really draw the attention of serious collectors. In simple terms, a die error happens when there's a mistake during the minting process, and it results in a coin having a unique flaw or feature. When it comes to the 1950 penny, one of the most famous errors is what's known as the repunched mint mark variety. This error occurs when the mint mark D was punched into the die more than once, resulting in a double or overlapping D on the coin. It's these coins with the repunched mint mark, especially those in good or excellent condition, that can really skyrocket in value. But even without the die errors, a well-preserved 1950 penny is still a coin that collectors love to hunt for. Now, let's talk about why condition is so important for this particular coin. Like most vintage coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. Most of the 1950 pennies were heavily circulated, so it's not unusual to find one that is worn down, scratched, or tarnished. However, if you happen to have a 1950 penny that looks like it's just been minted, without any signs of wear, sharp details, and that beautiful copper shine, then you could be holding on to something special. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition are always in high demand, especially among serious collectors. So, how much can a 1950 penny actually be worth? Well, it depends on the condition and, of course, the rarity of the coin. The average 1950 penny in circulation today is worth only a few cents. But if you happen to have a 1950 penny with a repunched mint mark or in pristine condition, you could be looking at a much higher payout. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1950 penny with the repunched mint mark and in excellent condition can sell for as much as $71,000. Yes, that's right, $71,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding one of these rare coins in your pocket change or tucked away in a drawer from years ago. It's absolutely incredible to think about how much value a coin that's been around for more than 70 years can still hold today. The excitement of discovering a rare coin like this is something that collectors dream of, and it just goes to show how important it is to pay attention to the coins in your collection. So, how can you spot a rare 1950 penny with the repunched mint mark? First, take a good look at the mint mark D on the coin. If the mint mark appears to have a double impression or overlap, then you've got a potential repunched mint mark error. It's always helpful to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the coin more closely. If you find one of these rare coins, make sure to have it evaluated by a professional to determine its true value. The 1951-cent coin is a perfect example of how a seemingly simple penny can become a numismatic treasure. Whether it's a mint error or just a well-preserved coin, this penny has become a favorite among collectors, and it's not hard to see why. The story behind this coin is fascinating, and it serves as a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected treasures can be found in the most ordinary places. Top 5, we're going to take a deep dive into the 1953 1-cent coin from the United States, a seemingly ordinary penny that could actually hold an incredible secret to a serious fortune. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, you'll want to stick around because this penny could be worth way more than you think. Let's get started. First, let's take a quick look at the year 1953. It was an interesting time in American history. The country was in the midst of the post-war economic boom, and the world was rapidly changing. The United States was becoming a global leader in manufacturing and technology, and life was moving forward in exciting ways. The 1953 penny was minted during this time and is part of the ongoing legacy of the Lincoln Cent series. However, there's more to this penny than just its year of issue. It's what makes it stand out that matters. You see, by 1953, the U.S. Mint had already been producing pennies for decades. While the design had stayed mostly the same since the coin's inception in 1909, the composition and minting process had changed a bit over time. The 1953 1-cent coin was made of copper, just like the pennies before it, and features the famous Lincoln design by Victor D. Brenner. The obverse shows a profile of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays the iconic Lincoln Memorial. So, what makes the 1953 penny so special? The answer lies in the rarity and the condition of the coin. While the majority of 1953 pennies were produced and spent in daily transactions, finding one in near-perfect condition is quite rare. And when it comes to rare coins, condition is everything. Coins that have been heavily circulated can have worn features, scratches, or discoloration, which lowers their value. However, coins that have remained in pristine condition, showing little to no signs of wear, are considered far more valuable. If you happen to have a 1953 penny that looks like it's just been pulled from the mint, crisp details, sharp lines, and an overall clean appearance, you may be in possession of a valuable collector's item. But, of course, there's more to it than just good condition. Some versions of the 1953 penny are far rarer than others, which can make a huge difference in how much it's worth. For example, while most 1953 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, there were some produced at the Denver Mint as well. This small difference in where the coin was minted can make a big impact on its rarity. The mint mark, which is usually a small d on coins minted in Denver, can be an important clue. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with mint marks from certain years, and in this case, the 1953 Denver pennies are especially desirable. But the real excitement happens when you consider the potential for errors. Die errors or minting mistakes can be incredibly valuable. A common error that collectors look for is the double die variety, where the coin's design is slightly doubled or blurred due to a mistake during the minting process. If you happen to have a 1953 penny with a double die or another error, you could be holding on to a rare and valuable piece of American numismatic history. And here's where things get really interesting. We're talking about the potential worth of these rare coins. While a typical 1953 penny in good condition might only be worth a few dollars, things change dramatically if your coin is a rare version or if it's in extraordinary condition. This is where the true value of these pennies starts to show. You won't believe how much a 1953 penny can be worth if it's one of the rarer varieties or in outstanding condition. Some of the most sought-after versions of this coin can fetch a staggering $67,000. Yes, that's right, $67,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that a simple copper coin, minted over 70 years ago, could hold such incredible value today. So, how can you tell if your 1953 penny might be worth that kind of money? First, check the condition. If it's well preserved, with no major signs of wear or discoloration, you're already off to a good start. Second, examine the mint mark. If you have a 1953 penny with a D mint mark, it could be more valuable, especially if it's in excellent shape. And lastly, keep an eye out for any die errors or other unique features, because that could really take the value of your coin to the next level. If you're unsure whether your 1953 penny is a rare one, don't hesitate to have it evaluated by a professional coin appraiser or take it to a reputable coin dealer. They can help you determine whether your penny is a hidden gem or just an ordinary coin. It's incredible to think about how something as simple as a penny, something you might find in your pocket change, can hold such tremendous value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who's just stumbled upon a coin collection, the 1953 1-cent coin is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Who knows? That penny you've got sitting around could end up being worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 6, we're talking about the 1954 United States 1-cent coin, an often overlooked penny that could be worth a small fortune. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new appreciation for this little coin. Let's uncover just how much the 1954 penny might be worth and what makes it so special. The year 1954 was an exciting time in American history. The country was thriving in the post-World War II era, and the 1950s marked the beginning of significant changes in both the economy and technology. At the same time, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of pennies each year, including the 1954 1-cent coin. On the surface, it might seem like just another ordinary penny, but the story behind it is far more fascinating than you might think. The 1954 penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, a design that has been circulating since 1909. The obverse side of the coin features a profile of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse shows the famous Lincoln Memorial, a design that would become synonymous with American currency. In terms of design, the 1954 penny doesn't look much different from the ones before it, but it's the rarity and condition of certain coins that has made it a favorite among collectors. What sets the 1954 penny apart from other pennies in the Lincoln cent series is its limited availability in excellent condition. As with most coins, The value is heavily influenced by how well the coin has been preserved over the years. Most 1954 pennies have seen heavy circulation and have the usual signs of wear, scratches, fading, and the kind of tarnishing that comes with age. However, it's the coins that have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition that are the ones that attract attention, and more importantly, cash. So, how do you know if your 1954 penny is one of the rare, valuable ones? Well, first things first, check the condition. A penny that has been well preserved, free from wear and tear, and with crisp, sharp details is what collectors are after. These coins look almost like they were freshly minted, gleaming, detailed, and vibrant. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin becomes. After all, the demand for well-preserved coins is high, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a coin that's almost as good as new. But there's another factor to consider when it comes to the value of your 1954 penny: the mint mark. The 1954 penny was minted at multiple U.S. mint locations, with the two main varieties being from Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, with a D mint mark. Coins with the D mint mark are generally rarer, which means they tend to fetch a higher price when in top condition. So if you find a 1954 penny with a D mint mark, that could be your ticket to a significant payday. But wait, there's more. If your 1954 penny has a minting error, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Die errors, which occur during the minting process when the design is accidentally misstruck or doubled, are highly prized by collectors. A double die error, where the design appears more than once on the coin due to an issue with the die, is a particularly rare and valuable variety. Finding a 1954 penny with a double die could make your coin worth far more than you could ever imagine. Now, here's the exciting part. The 1954 penny has been known to sell for some jaw-dropping amounts, especially if it's in exceptional condition or has a rare error. The most sought-after versions of this coin can fetch up to $62,000. Yes, that's right, $62,000 for a single penny. It's unbelievable to think that a coin as small as a penny, especially one that's over 60 years old, could have such a high value. So, how can you find out if your 1954 penny is worth a small fortune? Start by checking the condition. Look for one that's free of wear, discoloration, and heavy scratches. A shiny, well-maintained coin is exactly what collectors are after. If your coin is from the Denver Mint and in exceptional condition, it could be even more valuable. And if you're lucky enough to have a coin with a minting error, you could be holding on to something truly special. If you think you found a rare 1954 penny, it's always a good idea to have it appraised by a professional coin grader or to take it to a reputable coin dealer. They can help you confirm whether your penny is indeed a rare one and give you a better idea of its market value. The 1954 1-cent coin is an excellent example of how a simple piece of currency can evolve into a highly sought-after collector's item. What might have once seemed like just a piece of pocket change can turn out to be a hidden treasure. Whether you've got a well-preserved coin or one with a minting error, the 1954 penny is a great reminder that sometimes the most unexpected objects can have the highest value. Top 7, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1957 1-cent coin. You might think of it as just another penny, but trust me, this one is hiding a potential fortune. So, if you're into rare finds and coin collecting, keep watching because by the end of this video, you'll know why the 1957 penny could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Let's take a step back in time and look at 1957. The US was in the middle of the post-World War II boom, and the country was seeing a rapid expansion in its economy and technology. Cars were becoming more modern, the suburbs were growing, and life was generally improving. Meanwhile, the US Mint was busy producing millions of pennies, just like the one we're talking about today, the 1957 Lincoln cent. Now, on the surface, the design of the 1957 penny might seem pretty standard. It features the classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that became synonymous with American currency after its introduction in 1959. But don't be fooled by its seemingly ordinary appearance. The 1957 penny is a fascinating coin, and what makes it especially intriguing is the fact that there's more to it than meets the eye. The penny was minted during a period when the United States was still dealing with post-war changes, and this coin is a product of that era. However, What truly elevates the 1957 penny in the eyes of collectors today is its rarity and the incredible value it can fetch, especially if you've got one in pristine condition, like most vintage coins. The key factor in determining the 1957 penny's value is its condition. Coins that have been heavily circulated will show signs of wear, scratches, and discoloration. However, if you happen to find a 1957 penny that has been carefully preserved, without any wear or significant damage, you could be sitting on a gold mine. In fact, coins in mint or near mint condition are extremely desirable to collectors, who are always on the lookout for coins that look like they were just minted yesterday. But there's another twist to this story: minting errors. If you've ever heard of a coin with a double die or another type of minting error, then you'll know how valuable these coins can be. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the coin's production, which can lead to a design flaw or other anomalies. In the case of the 1957 penny, one of the most highly sought-after errors is the famous double die variety. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned or struck multiple times, causing the design to appear slightly doubled. Now, imagine finding a 1957 penny with this error. A coin with a double die is much rarer than a regular 1957 penny, and that rarity drives up its value in the market. The thing that makes these error coins so exciting is that they're one of a kind. No two error coins are exactly the same, which makes them highly desirable among collectors who are looking for unique pieces to add to their collections. So, you might be wondering, just how much could your 1957 penny be worth? Well, it all depends on a few key factors, such as the condition, the presence of a minting error, and the specific mint where it was produced. While the majority of 1957 pennies are not worth much beyond face value, certain versions of this coin, especially those in uncirculated condition or with minting errors, can be worth a significant amount of money. And here's the big reveal. If you've got a 1957 penny in pristine condition, or one with a rare minting error like the double die, you could be looking at a coin worth $56,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $56,000 for a single penny. That's an astonishing amount for a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent. If you're lucky enough to find a 1957 penny in excellent condition, or one that features a minting error, then you may have just discovered a numismatic treasure. The value of these coins can fluctuate depending on the collector market, but there's no denying that a 1957 penny in the right condition could bring in a small fortune. So, how can you tell if your 1957 penny is a rare gem? First, check its condition. If the penny looks almost new, with sharp details and no major signs of wear, then you might just have a valuable coin on your hands. Next, inspect the mint mark. The 1957 penny was minted at several locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your coin has a mint mark, it could increase its value, especially if it's from one of the lesser minted locations. Finally, check for any minting errors. Look carefully for signs of a double die or any other anomaly in the design. If you notice something that doesn't seem quite right with the coin, it might be worth getting it professionally appraised to determine its value. The 1957 1-cent coin is a great example of how a seemingly common penny can turn into a rare and valuable piece of history. Whether it's a rare error coin or just one in exceptional condition, this penny has earned its place as a highly coveted collector's item. So, next time you find a 1957 penny in your change or come across one in your collection, take a moment to really look at it. You could be holding a coin worth thousands. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and how to spot valuable finds, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. Who knows? The next hidden treasure could be waiting in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.